day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're right, 'cause it's time for the abnormal barders. Now, guys, I'm going to jump straight in because I've only got so much time. But first of all, let's just make a big fuss about how SMM has updated. I've had so many people constantly asking me, hey, what's going on with SMM? What's going on? I didn't actually know what's going on, but now I can confirm. Oh, look, it's brand new. Now, it is a bit buggy. It does have a few problems, and it is a bit harder to just try and find all the specific details and whatnot. Give it time, we'll figure it all out. But yeah, it has been updated, it has been revamped. But just because I'm actually used to it, I am going to commit with Rust Help, right? I'll get more used to SMM, we'll use it more, don't you worry. But let's just use this for now, okay? So, as you can see, the sales are quite tame. It's not too ridiculous. We don't even have a single skin here that managed to reach over 20,000 subscribers. In the long term, if we happen to see some interesting collection continuations, all the better for them to rise up in price. However, I'm sure many of you are fully well aware that we're now entering September time. And these are bad times. Just take a look at last year, look at the average player count we had, and then look at the drop-off. Oh, negative 17,000. So we're expecting to see this happen all over again. And we're expecting the drop-off, we're expecting prices to go down, reach rock bottom prices around the first or second week of October. It is inevitable. It happens every single year. Okay? So, we can try and be positive about the Rust Store today, but we also have to be somewhat hesitant. We realistically have to expect that all of these skins you see here will go down in price. Okay? It's unfortunate, but it's just something we have to endure. But after all of that, you know, after we're done with October time, we will start to notice prices improving in November. As we enter December time, you know, it's Christmas time. Oh, people got a lot more time to play Rust. Well, there'll probably be a nice increase in demand for Rust skins. But once we actually have, like, New Year's, pretty much everywhere around the world, they've got time off. Everyone's playing Rust. And, well, if there's a lot more people playing, there's much higher demand for skins. And, of course, the prices reach brand new all-time high prices. So we just got to wait it out a little bit longer. So, okay. Maybe we'll look at these skins today and we'll probably approach it with like a nice long-term barter. So, let's now go through all these skins and figure out what prices we might want to offer for all of them. Endgame Sheep Matador. So, I'd just like to point out, with the 48-hour analysis, I thought this was only going to match up to about like 15,000 subscribers. I said 12 to 15. It wasn't the absolute best of comparisons because I didn't really know what would be best to compare with that. Well, evidently it has gone above 15,000 subscribers. You might sit there and say, oh, has it sold too much? No, it's fine. Because when you compare it to the Garage Door, it still sold about half as much. That Garage Door did over 30,000 subscribers. At best, by tomorrow, this might reach just over 16,000 subscribers. Now, I will sit here and say I have seen many deplorable collections in the past, which started off with either like a Garage Door or Sheep Matador, and then vice versa for the second skin. Be wary, be a bit cautious. You very likely will see these still dip below their Rust Store price, even with potentially more skins being accepted. So let's go to the workshop and let's just point out, yes, we have a Sheep Matador door available, and we also happen to have an Armored Door. Two options available. Which one could potentially be picked? We shall see. All right. So, all right, cool. Either one, I'm happy. I'll be very happy to see. But you know, will it actually happen? We'll see. If it does happen, yeah, that Sheep Matador will spike a price. But will it actually maintain the higher price? That is the question. I doubt it. Again, as we've already pointed out, the autumn fall seasonal dip is upon us. Prices are expected to drop off real bad over the course of the next several weeks, especially as we go through October. So I'm looking at you, priced at $3. I can respect that you could go up quite nicely. I'm still expecting you to drop off quite a fair bit. So what price am I going to offer to you? Whew, here we go. I reckon I'm going to do $1.20 to $1.70. Yeah, $1.20 to $1.70. I reckon that'll probably end up at around $2. Maybe in the further future, I'll be doing a whole lot better. Hopefully, we do see a lot more collection continuations. But let me tell you this. If we do not see another endgame door or deplorable being accepted after this one, yeah, you should expect problems. You should expect problems, okay? So, we'll see how it pans out. But let's just remind you, we have tons upon tons upon tons upon tons of Sheep Matadors that exist. So many options. And you might notice quite a lot of them are struggling real bad because they have to really stand out to be appreciated. And unfortunately, with so many options available, quite a lot of them get lost in the shuffle and they just lose their value. Will this stand out? Will this always be appreciated? Time will tell. But if we see a collection continuation, that will give it a lovely boost. So, yep, 120, 270. So, Apotheosis of War Tier 3. Not everybody was super thrilled with the chest plate. Again, you know, it is what it is. But I can confirm to you at the very least, on the workshop right now, Tier 2 is available. You can see it right here. And the skin creator, he has taken notice. He has made the Tier 2 armor look more like the face mask rather than the chest plate. Now, there's still like an homage and a reference to the deplorables from previous skins and whatnot. You can see the nice, interesting background design there. But overall, I know people aren't exactly super thrilled about the chest plate. I still expect that to spike in price if we were to see Tier 2 being accepted. And of course, you know, the face mask. But here's another question to be aware of. Are we actually going to see the Tier 2 being accepted? Considering next month, the brand new skinnable is wood armor. And if you aren't fully well aware, if I could just switch over to here, yep, lots of interesting wood armor skins have in fact been posted. But we're getting a lot of sets of like 3. And that's going to take up a lot of slots in the Rust store. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that many other clothing armor skins being accepted other than wood armor. I think next month might just be stacked with wood armor, wood armor, wood armor, maybe the occasional backpack skin, maybe even a pair of gloves and boots. But I'm not expecting like Tier 2, Tier 3 or hoodie and pants. I'm doubting it. So, yeah. Yeah, good call of them. Yes. Very nice looking designs. But yeah, I honestly think all the slots for clothing armor will be taken up by wood armor. So considering that, yeah, we might have problems because a lot of people aren't they aren't very patient. They're very impatient. And other people who invest into these skins, well, unfortunately, you might start seeing people dump. So I am a little bit cautious and a little bit wary of that. But again, eventually, if we do have to wait for like a version 2 of the Tier 2 to be made and then it gets accepted, I do expect, oh yes, both of these to rise up in price so nicely. But realistically speaking, I feel like the more likely outcome is we'll see the prices drop off. So for the face mask and the chest plate, 80 cents to $1.20. Yep, 80 cents to $1.20. Now with the Popstar SKS, initially I was a bit wary. It did look as if it could be one of the lowest selling skins out of all the SKS skins. I thought it could sell less than the Carrot SKS. I didn't actually realise that the Protector SKS actually sold a lot less. Anyway, it actually managed to reach over 10,000 subscribers. Props to you. And you know what? It has actually matched up quite nicely to the Abyss SKS, which right now isn't doing that bad. And I feel like this is probably a great thing to compare to for what we could expect with this. So Abyss skins, we have quite a lot of them. They are appreciated. When times are good, they go up in price so nicely. But with this particular SKS, well, if I could just quickly show its sales history on the Steam market, I'll showcase to you that right now it's just under $3. But at one point, fairly recently, it was actually up to like $3.50. But very, very initially, when it first appeared, when it was first marketable, it actually dips because it actually came out at the very beginning of June. So, you know, when we saw the June dip in the later half of June, it's stagnant, it's stuck, it ends up around just below $2. But then when we actually go through August time, we actually start to notice prices improving. It actually manages to go up to $3.50. I'm very much under the impression that the Popstar SKS is going to end up in a very sort of similar position. I'm expecting it to probably end up at around $2. Maybe we could put a bar around there, perhaps. But after we're done with the autumn fall seasonal dip, after we finally get past October time, as we start getting closer and closer to Christmas time, and as we enter post-Christmas, that being January time, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if not only will this end up in a much higher, better price, but I also expect the same with Popstar. Popstar is in fact in demand. You'll see that with your own eyes right now, but I am expecting these skins to suffer as we go for the next several weeks. It is inevitable. And you know what? Another great showcase of this is remembering how the Popstar AK-47 behaved last year. Because if you could just see its sales history, you would be incredibly surprised to see that this actually got as cheap as about $1.50, even cheaper if I can recall, basically last year. Yeah. it has had a wonderful summertime. But get a good look at that. Last year, August time, it's actually selling for about $3. But guess what? September, October, November, and it reaches a low point of about $1.50. It halves in price. But then after that, post-Christmas, it goes all the way up to about $6. Then it cools off. Then we have the Easter dip, and then we had summertime, when we saw so many skins being accepted. So yeah, you very likely could see the SKS end up going down to about $1.50. But you know what? If you picked them all up at $1.50 and then you flipped them for about $6, like the AK-47 last year, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would be very pleased with that. So in regards to the SKS, I'll be offering $1.20 to $1.70. I'm expecting it to end up dropping down to about $2. Yes, I do believe it will suffer a fair bit. I don't expect it to crash and burn. And I can expect this, along with a few other SKS skins, actually managing to be in the positive and reach brand new all-time high prices as we eventually go through January time. And yes, as you might notice, well, we got a lot of SKS skins this year, yep, and none of them right now in the positive. Well, you know, you can look forward to the future. Redemption small backpack, it is basically matching up perfectly fine with the large backpack. Very similar sales, very similar subscriber count. Now, if I could quickly hop over to here, the expectation was that this was going to end up selling between 10 to 13,000 subscribers. Well, yep, that's happened on the lower side of things. I reckon at best by tomorrow, it might end up between 10.5 to 11,000 subscribers. Now, when I first saw this Rust store, I thought about it, questioned it, and in my predictions video, that small backpack was the skin I wanted to talk about first. That right there is probably the best investment here. Probably the most reliable skin here. So let's also point out Redemption Collection. Yeah, it's in demand. People like it. Is that hard to notice? Is it hard to see? That's a lot of green. That's a lot of positivity. Now, of course, even this is expected to suffer as we go through the next several weeks. But with what we have here, I know we have this as a brand new skinnable. I know we should be expecting more small backpack skins potentially being accepted. But literally last week, right? Last week, did we kind of talk in a very similar sort of pattern when we were discussing the small backpack? Well, right now, that's actually maintaining its price reasonably. It's actually doing quite nicely. Oh, yes. That did 25,000 subscribers almost. This has less than half of that. Dare I say, Redemption and Pirate Collection are like fairly similar in demand. The demand they have is fairly similar at a level. That's what I'll say. Yeah. So, okay. All right then. Well then, if you've sold significantly less, and if you do have like a solid amount of clothing armor skins and whatnot, I think that actually might have a pretty interesting future. I bought in with the large backpack. I think I'll be buying in with the small backpack as well. So, with that priced at $2, what's the suggestion? $1 to $1.50. Yeah, it very likely could still dip lots Rust or price. We could still see quite a few more small backpacks. We very likely will be seeing Twitch drops and kick drops. But January time, I'm looking at that. I'm expecting it to go above $2, okay? I can see that working out oh so nicely in the further future. So, all right then. Okay, yeah, $1 to $1.50. Then we have the metal Shopfront from hell. I question this, because of course, yeah, it's an in-demand collection. Not everything is perfect, mind you. This is also a Halloween collection. So you actually might see more of these skins being accepted during October time. And just Rust stores in general. But with what we have here, it looks as if it could be the lowest selling metal Shopfront skin. As of now, as you'll see here, Rainbow Pony has 7,897 subscribers. This right here has 7,300. Perhaps by tomorrow, it might end up very close to this. Maybe it might end up with less or slightly more. The point still remains, well, two fairly notable and well-known collections in Rust. Their metal Shopfront skins didn't sell that much. I reckon, as we go through Halloween time, with the proposed brand new Halloween decorations, DLC and all that, I reckon a lot of people might want to use that, along with the other deplorables in its collection. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do potentially see even more from Hell skins, more from Hell deplorables. So I'm going to sit here and say, yes, it's priced at $3. That is quite high. But I think that actually might work out quite all right. from how collections are appreciated. I do believe that's a very cool looking design. It glows in the dark oh so nicely. And again, Halloween's just around the corner. I'm going to offer $1.70 to $2.20. That's a nice looking metal Shopfront. Now again, I'm expecting that to work out quite nicely. Yeah, is it going to dip below its restore price? Oh yeah, come on now, surely. But after all that's all said and done, I could still see that work out oh so nicely as we go through post-Christmas in a few months' time, and of course next year's summertime, alright? Looking forward to it. I feel confident I'll be offering a decent price. Then we have Crystal Core Python. Look, I'm just going to be straightforward with you. It looks nice, it looks cool, and it could potentially develop into a brand new collection. But it's a standard Python. There's no transparency or anything. This is a transparent Python. This is a transparent Python. They're still down in price. Oh. So when you look at like the standard Pythons from the past, you might notice, oh wow, yeah, yeah, they're down in price pretty badly. Quite a lot of them are less than $1. Yeah, this is what you should be expecting. That right there is a 60-cent to 80-cent barter. Very sorry to say it, but I don't trust it. 60 cents to 80 cents. Yep, it could potentially get a few more skins accepted. Maybe there will be a Crystal Core collection. I don't think anything like that's going to save this though. Sorry to say, but that very likely will be stuck below $1 for the foreseeable future forever. So yeah, I don't have that much faith. I'm playing it safe. So that's all the abnormal skins. Let's now talk about the regular skins. The skins that will only become marketable when the rush rotates tomorrow. Frog Cosplay Bucket Helmet. With the arrival of this bucket helmet, the other skins have risen up in price quite nicely. Not ridiculously, but they have noticeably risen up. Sales have been pretty good. Yep, that's all nice and dandy. But what happens next? Well, if you aren't fully well aware, on a commit somewhat recently, Facepunch has mentioned frogs, and frogs potentially being added to Rust. Now, will that actually happen? We shall see. Considering all the animals being added in the proposed farming update, I guess you could add frogs, I guess. If we do, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if Facepunch probably wants to accept another frog cosplay skin. So, alright. Maybe we'll then see the boots and the gloves. Maybe the skin crates will consider making some more skins. We shall see. But for that particular bucket helmet, at 99 cents each, it did manage to reach over 9,000 subscribers. Compared to the other bucket helmets in the past month, it has sold the most. Again, it's the most approachable and cheapest price. I could actually still see that work out quite nicely in the further future. Again, with what you see here, it is mostly a almost complete collection. No, it is not camouflage. It's too bright. It's too bright. It's goofy. It's silly. It's fun. It's rock cosplay. And we could still see more of it. So, will we ever get the tier 3? Will we ever get the boots and the gloves? Could we get a jacket? We shall see. In the jungle? Perhaps. Perhaps. But if in the shades, you're better off with like darker clothing, Hakarawi. Anyway, with what we see there, I think I'll just offer 70 cents to 80 cents. And with the tools, 60 cents to 80 cents. I don't trust them. Sorry to say. Take a quick look at all the hatchet skins that have come out recently. Take a quick look at all the pickaxe skins that have come out recently. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. They drop off bad. 60 cents to 80 cents. And there you go. That was nice and quick. Straight to the point. All is good. Right. So, what's the expectation for tomorrow's Rush Store? Well, with all the recent Rush Stores, with what we've seen, basically, the expectation is the skins we're likely going to see being accepted tomorrow probably won't be any of the skins we saw being submitted the past weekend. In fact, it's more likely a case of we're probably going to see the skins from the previous week being accepted. So let's just get a quick glance at this. This is last week's Rust Workshop skin checks. Not the wood armor here, not happening, not until next week. You might get the UFO abduction auto turret, light shift vending machine. What about protector metal shopfront? What about pirate barbecue? What about the Thunder Gold electric furnace? Popstar large box, you get the idea. There's a lot of skins here that are from notable collections and whatnot. But what might we see? You tell me. Consider giving that a good look. Lots of interesting weapons as well. We've got Cartoon MP5, Whiteout Thompson, Salvation Thompson. I've got so many people asking me, should I sell my Valkyrie Thompson? It's up to you. You tell me. It's up to you. I'm not in charge of your finances. Sorry. But then you can see like the clothing and the armor as well. We've got some very goofy looking bucket helmets that could be appearing tomorrow. And just some nice skins in general. I guess we could still see an early pick or two. But again, like, the vast majority of skins that have been accepted in the recent Rust stores have basically been skins not from the most recent batch of submissions, but from the week before. So give that a good look in your own time. A lot of skins were in fact submitted last week. And if I could hop over to here, if you want to stay up to date with all the most recent Rust Workshop skin submissions, consider watching the Rust Workshop skin checks for August 25, 2026. As you'll see, all the collection continuations are listed as all the chapters. But again, if you want to get a good idea of what potentially could be accepted in tomorrow's Rust store, as I've already stated, you might want to go ahead and watch the previous week's video. So let's go ahead and just point that out. So not this one, but for August 18, 2026. Is that going to autoplay? Shut up, you. I'm the real Hedge. So yeah, you might want to go ahead and watch that. And again, all the collection continuations listed right there. If I refresh, will the thumbnail work? There you go. Lovely. Okay. So yeah, consider giving that a good watch. We'll see what becomes of that. Cool. Now, as we're getting very, very, very close, I'd also like to point out a lot of interesting things are being tweaked and changed for the proposed update for September. That's a high quality metal node. Well, yeah. Initially, they were asking, how much do you reckon this should give? And then quite a few hours ago, there you go. A high quality metal node is about to appear in Rust. Are you looking forward to it? It's going to be a whole lot more prominent in the jungle. And we've actually got footage right here from Mr. Protox. Now, instead of just showcasing this to you right now on my own stream, I'll link the video in the description and you could go watch it in your own time. At a distance, it does look as if it might be hard to distinguish it from, like, compared to stone, but when you're up close, you do notice it's quite shiny. So I'll link that tweet in the description. And if you want to stay up to date in regards to all the newest content that's about to appear in Rust, consider watching and keep an eye on Mr. Protox on Twitter. I'll link that in the description. Cool. That's a lot of words, Hedge, and hardly any breathing. Yeah, I'm very good at that. And we're back to Halpal. Yes, indeed we are. Right, did we get all those prices? Hedge, you got about 20 seconds. Mr. Antinomy, the superstar, he's always writing down the prices, right? Did he write down the prices? Did he write down the prices? Did he write down the prices? He did! Thank you, Antinomy. You're a superstar. Hedge doesn't always remember. Yes, he's like one of you. Stupid. I'm sorry. Right, let's go. Lowball prices with the Halpal count. Away we go. Now, what about over here? Popstar SKS. Yeah. I'm only going to request up to 15 because that's how I have to work around with the Halpal count. Yeah, I have to be quite careful. Not too silly. I only have so much I can work with. It's a problem. It's a problem. Endgame Sheet Metal. A very nice looking skin. Oh, yes, indeed. All right, let's go ahead and put that down. Cool. And then we have the Crystal Core Python. Super Lobel Barders. Away we go. Yeah. All right, cool. There you go. That's all the barders. All right. Cool. Let's now skip ahead and showcase the abnormal barter support and question, do any of these skins look perfectly fine to just buy straight from the Rust store? Let's go ahead and find out. Right. Prices have started to appear. Let's now go ahead and discuss, am I considering actually buying any of the skins? And, well, Redemption Small Backpack. With the predictions video, I felt pretty confident. I was expecting fairly tame sales. That has, in fact, happened. Very similar to what we saw with the large backpack. And as I made reference to, with the fact that I, consider Redemption and Pirate Collection being at, the same level of in-demand, I can't help but assume that's going to work out all right in the further future, okay? So I must reiterate, Twitch drops, Kick drops, there will be another Twitch Rivals event. You're going to see a purple small backpack. There will be more Kick drops. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we get a Kick small backpack that's all nice and green as a general drop. That feels like an inevitability, okay? So, alright, yeah, we're going to get that. But with, other future events and whatnot, bigger streamers are going to get, a backpack or two. What's stopping Hedge from getting a white small backpack? You know, I'm just saying. We've already mentioned that before, haven't we? But with Pirate Collection and Redemption Collection holding up ever so nicely, always keep in demand. If I thought Pirate Backpack was perfectly fine to jump in and buy 50 of them last week, even though I sold that much, almost 25,000 subscribers, I have to also consider buying some of those. I bought Redemption large backpacks. I will be buying small backpacks as well. Yes, there might be more skins on the horizon, but how many of those future skins will be part of an in-demand collection like that, you know? Well, I mean, we could still see like Popstar small backpack and whatnot. You never know, I'm just saying. We'll see. So, alright, cool. I feel positive. The barter support, it looks fairly strong. Barter's basically going all the way up to $1.50 and then even higher, $1.60, $1.70. Yeah, it looks solid. I'm feeling pretty confident. So, I'll be jumping in. Will you? Feel free to comment below. So, moving on. Next, we have the Popstar SKS, priced at $3. And well, I still believe it'll dip below its restore price. I don't think it's going to crash and burn. Look at all the support it has around $2. Slightly above, slightly below, but still. That very likely could be its lowest point. And then, of course, as time goes on, you know, I'm sure we'll survive October. I'm sure this will retain most of its value. But then what's it going to look like as we go through January time? Is it going to be like the AK-47 last year? Well, that ends up going up to about $6. I mean, we'll see. If that ends up at like $5, I'm sure people will still be very happy. Now, if that goes down to $2, but then ends up at $4, I mean, still, you know, it's just pretty good. So, yes, I feel optimistic that could work out nicely, but it's a waiting game. We have to be patient, and there very likely will be more SKS skins being produced and accepted. Twitch drops, kick drops, you name it. Pay-to-win-aim sites, most likely, don't be surprised. But that, Popstar Collection, super in demand, bright and colourful, very unique design. I think it'll stand out enough that it will work out and flourish in the future. Support is looking pretty strong, up to a point though. But yeah, I can imagine that looks quite good. And we are aware that a pair of tactical gloves have been posted on the workshop recently. And I'm also aware Skin Creator intends to keep up the work. Deplorables, weapons and tools, and potentially a lot more clothing and armour. I think Popstar won't be stopping, but at some point it does have to stop. So we'll see what becomes of that. But I do believe that will be solid. I do believe that can work out as a nice investment later on. Just give it about 4 months, maybe. No, we'll see. Apotheosis of War, well, face mask is looking cool. I'm still under the impression that we might have to wait a while for the tier 2. I don't want that to happen. I'm just expecting it to happen. So if we have to wait, people get impatient, people start dumping, prices could be funny. So what I see here, yeah, you do have like one guy offering $1.60. You have one guy offering $2.15. I don't think these will last. I think it's going to end up around here, $1.20. I think this is where it's going to land at. But of course, if we do see the tier 2, oh yeah, that's going up. That's going up. So we'll see what becomes of that. Chestplate, however, interestingly, more support. More buy orders. Pretty much in the same boat though. So, is it expected to go about halfway? Yes. Well, it's the expectation. It's no guarantee, but yes, it looks as if that's going to be the case. So, with what I see here, okay, yeah, let's see what happens. Keeping on a workshop, I'm sure the Skin Creator is also going to work on the likes of some boots and gloves, maybe even a jacket, you never know. But Apotheosis of War, it has been quite successful this year. A lot of skins have in fact been accepted. So, if that continues, I feel confident. So, let's see what happens next. Metal Shopfront from Hell, it's got the support. It's got a lot of barders above $2. Not a ridiculous amount, but it's got good barders. Over 1,000 in total. There's a lot of it up to almost $2 as well. That does not look as if it's going to crash and burn. That's looking solid. That's looking good. I still kind of expect it to slightly slip below its restore price. But you know what? I am tempted to buy some. I might grab like a sneaky 20 a cheeky 20. Because again, I'm like, well, potential lowest selling skin out of all the middle shop fronts. Old and in-demand collection. Yeah, why not? Why not? But I am expecting more deplorables. I am expecting more to be produced and accepted. There's an electric furnace in the workshop right now. Just saying. So, could see it tomorrow. Just saying. We'll see what becomes of this. But with the support it has, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and buy some. Yeah, I feel confident enough that that could work out quite nicely in the future. So, yeah, I'll be jumping in. Cool, cool. Endgame Sheet Matador. If we do see a sequel, of course, I expect that to rise up. Will it hold? We'll see. But if we end up with like several skins being accepted, so, you know, sheet metal double door, armored door, maybe a wooden double door, maybe a locker. I asked for a locker. I also asked for a bit of shopfront as well. The King's Tax. Yes, that makes sense. If it flourishes, all right. It's got a cool design to it. The glow is also very intimidating and looks cool. I could see this work out nicely. I'm just quite hesitant with sheet metal doors. The majority of them go down pretty bad. So, we'll see. We'll see. If you like it, by all means, buy it, use it, enjoy it. Support the skin creator. Keep them nice and motivated to want to keep putting out nice creative designs in the future. But if you're looking at that as an investment, I think you might just be better off with a builder. I think, look, if you really wanted some, go ahead and offer $2, okay? If you're questioning about buying them straight from the restaurant, I think you're better off just offering it $2. We might have to wait a while, but how confident do you think and believe that we will see more endgame skins being produced and accepted? If you feel very confident, jump in, strong builder, give it a shot. We'll see what happens. And then for last, yeah, Crystal Core Python. Didn't really expect that much of it. 60 cents to 80 cents, as expected. Yeah, maybe it might turn into a collection. It'll probably just be a weapon-only collection. Yeah, we'll see. Again, Bad Trip, Hulk, they've made many interesting collections in the past. It could amount to something. But the Python is still very likely to just go down in price anyway. So, you know, you might get like an AK and all that. That very likely to still suffer. So, yeah, it's because it's a Python. Python just doesn't seem to be appreciated enough, and the skins suffer because of it. There you go, is your answer. So, in conclusion, I think I'll be buying some of these small backpacks, and I think I'll be buying some of these metal shop fronts. Yeah, I feel pretty confident. Here's hoping it doesn't sell that much more, but yeah, it's in a good spot. It's in a good spot. And I do believe I'm going to have to wait a bit longer to truly appreciate potential profits. So, alright, cool. I can do that. I can afford it. Can you afford it? Don't want to sound mean, but not everybody can. So if it looks too risky, just stick with a barter and hope for the best, okay? Chances are that might be a lot of you. Because again, if you don't keep an eye on your barters, if you do not maintain them, I'm very sorry to say, but you very likely will get dumped on, okay? So I've had to even check on the Hellpower account here. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at how many barters it can do now. I managed to get it back up to just over $100. Today, I've added an extra $100 of buy orders. As of now, I might be able to do another $400 worth of buy orders. All the buy orders you do does add up, okay? And if I end up spending a bunch, that means I have less to work with. So I am lowballing it. It has worked out for me nicely. But during October time, you might find out a lot of your lowball buy orders might end up going through. Be prepared for such a thing, okay? Be prepared. So if it ends up where I'm in a position of, you know what, maybe my barter's too close to the lowest price, I don't exactly want to have 100 of these thrown at me, yeah, you'd probably want to consider removing your barter. So basically, yeah, I've got another video to discuss in regards to, like, approaching October time, being prepared for it. But at the very least, with that specific account, sorry, I lost my tongue there, consider watching the newest Road to Big Win video. It's part 7. It's basically me talking about how I approached everything. I kind of spoiled it. I sold a bunch of skins. I put an effort in. It worked out. I still own quite a lot, but I'm like, you know what? I might want to hold on to, I might want to hold on to some for a little bit longer because, again, January time, I reckon I could get much better profit. So, cool. For your consideration. All right then. So, that's pretty much everything that needs to be said. Keep an eye on what Mr. Protox is pointing out. Lots of very interesting details. And, well, it's not tomorrow, but next week is September Force Wipe. We'll see what becomes of everything. I'm looking forward to finding out. I wonder how many people are going to turn up for this, though. With such interesting changes being implemented, especially the likes of, well, monument barricades and whatnot. Okay, sounds quite intriguing. Nerfs to clans. Solos might actually have a chance now. And if that's the case, will they start to return and play? Even though it'll be the period of time in which we tend to see a lot of people disappear. Time will tell. Time will tell. All right, then. So that's pretty much everything. Refresh. You might notice this updated a little bit. Feel free to comment below. Have you bought anything from this Rust store? And what do you personally believe will be accepted in tomorrow's Rust store? Could we actually get an early pick? Look at all these skins here. Got some very interesting designs. But as I said earlier, the most likely outcome is it won't be the skins from this past weekend. It will most likely consist of skins from the previous weekend. Electric Furnace from Hell's right there. Popstar Large Backpack. Salvation Thompson. Icy Whisper AK-47. Endgame Sheep Meta Double Door. Late Shift Vending Machine. Lots of very cool looking designs. All there on display. Get a good look at that. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, cool. So next week, wood armor skins will be introduced. How many of those are we going to see being accepted? Gonna have to wait and see. Cool. Right, I'm done. Finished. Thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck with you and your investments. But I would recommend start considering to get those sales in now, because prices really are like noticeably dropping off. It's becoming very, very noticeable now. So, for your consideration. Catch you later. Say goodbye.